So this year has seen some amazing brand new retro gaming consoles enter the Lady Lounge, as well as awesome retro games, because you guys have been witnessing it all on the retro game hunts and the retro game pickups. But as the decade is about to close and 2019 draws to a rapid end, I wanted to talk to you guys about some of my favourite retro gaming consoles that have entered this Lady Lounge for 2019. So sit back, enjoy, and if you're a gamer, guys, I'd love it if you could hit that subscribe button for me and leave a like. So I had some goals this year, and I'm very grateful to one of my friends and longtime viewers, Reese, for sending me a Sony PSX. This came within the last couple of months, and I did an awesome video in which I showed some of the PlayStation 1 Japanese games playing on the Sony PSX, and it was nice to see that some of you guys had never seen one of the machines before. Now, for those of you that don't know, they're quite obscure in the West. Now, you might just think, PSX, that's a PS1, Gemma. Actually, it's not. It was a digital video recorder first, PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 combi second to the DVR functionalities. In Japan, you can get them really, really cheap. They're probably just very expensive bookends in a lot of Japanese homes, but here in the collector's culture, the collector's community of the West, they're quite well sought after, especially in the form that Reese sent me this one, because it completely works. These machines were renowned for failure. Just really did flop when it came to market, didn't have a massive shelf life, but this, the PlayStation 1, the PlayStation 2, everything works on it, and I was so thrilled and so stoked, and I just want to echo my thanks to Reese for padding out this awesome retro game collection. So the Sony PSX it just blew my mind, and it was one of 3 consoles that I had on my 2019 collector's list. So that's one ticked off. There's also another one that I managed to tick off. Next up then was my Atari Jaguar bundle. Again, like the PSX, a console that is reasonably well sought after by today's standards, but flopped when it came to market. It didn't have a massively strong game lineup, and for some reason today it's insanely expensive to collect for. But I managed to find a bargain earlier this year on Facebook Marketplace, and I picked up a wealth of games. I've added a couple into the collection of the Atari Jaguar since, and I did a video showcasing my entire Atari Jaguar games collection. But getting that machine in that condition with a multi-tap controller, a boxed controller, unfortunately the console was unboxed, but aside from that, it was my perfect Atari Jaguar package, really. And I only paid I think I may have paid it was £300, so I got an absolute bargain, because Atari Jaguar consoles on their own, if they were boxed, can go for anything of like £150 upwards. I've seen them go as high as like £250 console alone. So, sorry, my watch is going off there. So I was really, really stoked to find it. And it's, a lot of you guys have been recommending games, and I'm always on the lookout and for recommendations, and now when I go to the markets, I'm kind of scoping out the Jaguar titles, and they're few and far between, but it's a fun console to collect for me, because it is few and far between. So the hunt gives you that little bit more of a challenge, and the Jaguar, it's for me, I just love it. It's a great console, and I'm super stoked to have it and to have acquired it. And it was the second console on my list that I must get, so 2 out of 3 boxed off. Next up then was something that I landed upon by chance, and I was very lucky because this, as a bundle, cost me £300. It was the Panasonic 3DO console boxed with a whole entire bundle of games for only £300. Again, a console that didn't do well in its heyday. It seems to be a running theme here, but again is quite sought after now. I've seen them at markets unboxed for £125 with 1 game and upwards, and I've seen them boxed from like £300 on their own, upwards as well. Again, not the most reliable of consoles. I've had a couple of Panasonic 3DOs unboxed in my collection like years ago, and it was very hit and miss as to which games worked, and sometimes they wouldn't work and then they would all of a sudden work, you know, despite whether or not the disc was scratched or immaculately clean. For some reason they were just really dodgy machines. I don't know if that's just been my experience. So admittedly, I was a little bit skeptical kind of going into buying a Panasonic 3DO bundle, but it was a must, and the right opportunity arose and it was the right time, so I nailed it and I was freaking stoked. And again, if you've watched my content for quite some time, you would have seen the 3DO bundle, you would have seen the Atari Jag bundle, and it's just been amazing, and it just kind of revs me up when I see these things and I play these things and I'm like, yeah, 2020, we got more collecting goals to go, so there's plenty more to come. So the Panasonic 3DO was an absolute perler, and I'm so stoked. And if you have any recommendations 3DO wise, please just drop us a message on social media or drop us a comment below. Next up then is, and I will do some cheaper ones. We're just gonna go through the expensive ones. This is my last expensive console. It is my Neo Geo X Gold Edition, which I purchased at the last retro gaming market I went to in Nottingham. I only paid £200 for this. Came with a whole heap of games in Mega Pack, with like the Mega Pack Volume 1, and the Neo Geo X was released actually not so long ago, and it's a hybrid console that you can play in a handheld mode, or you can have it docked on your TV, and then you've got a replica of the classic Neo Geo arcade fight stick. And admittedly, again, so these next two handhelds may be a little bit of a surprise to you, and it's the yellow and pink PlayStation Portable. Now the PSP is a great console, especially if you're going to emulate on it. I don't own a PSP that I emulate with. I like to play them in the native state, and as a collector I do like to buy the different variations, and pink and yellow being my dorky favourite colours, I found these very, very cheap. The yellow PSP was only £20, and the pink PSP, which is boxed as you guys have seen, was 40 quid. So I think I got a couple of games with the one with the pink PSP as well. So I really like the PSP, and I'd really kind of like, I'm mentioning this in the hope that 2020 can bring about more PSP stuff for me. I think I do need to devote a little bit more time to it, and especially just the handhelds in general. And recently Sony said that they were not going to devote any more money or time or energy into the handheld market. So, you know, things like the Vita, the PSP, I think now, for me, are probably a little bit more special because we know Sony aren't going to bother with them as much. And yeah, I'm just mentioning it because I really like pink and yellow, which is a bit cheesy, but for me personally, there's that little bit of sentiment there. It just made me smile. So you don't see the yellow ones around as much. So pretty darn awesome. Let me show you the next one. We got a nice juicy Nintendo 64 console. Again, massive shout out to Reese. He bought me an orange, one of the transparent orange Nintendo 64 consoles for my birthday this year. That was a huge, huge surprise, as I've made it no secret that when I have more space, I want to go for like the full range of the Nintendo 64 transparent consoles. So I have, do I have three of them? Do I have three? Hang on a minute. Yeah, I have three. I have three boxed so far, and an unboxed jungle green. I just literally have no more space. So it's quite a common collecting goal to go for the transparent Nintendo 64 consoles. I've seen it a lot, and it's nothing overly special, and yes, it is just an N64, but I've always said that I'm a gamer and I'm a collector, because some things I'll buy that I have no intention of playing. Like, I'm never going to have every single Nintendo 64 console that I own set up and play them all at once. That's just ridiculous. So I do kind of like to rotate what I play, because I'm just a little bit dorky like that, but for me it takes the edge off a little bit of the monotony. So again, Reese coming up clutch with the gifts this year, and firmly adding in the orange Nintendo 64. So we'll go with the PS2 now. We'll go with a nice PlayStation 2. I had a lot of trouble finding a slim pink PS2. And I found the bundle for £170, was it £170 with a ton of PS2 games. I think there was a couple of PS1 games in there. Came with the 2 official pink PlayStation controllers, an official pink memory card, all in great condition with a stand. So again, right time. Really kind of wanted the pink slim again for a number of months, and I never really kind of found a bargain, and it was really frustrating me because I was like, you know, they seemed overpriced at one point, but since I've purchased my pink PS2, I've noticed, this is so weird, a bit of a price drop in them, and I'm seeing them more and more often. So it's kind of, they went from, for me personally, something that I struggled to find for the right price to all of a sudden finding a load at a cheaper price than what I bought mine for. But, you know, it was a little thing that I'd kind of, you know, when you fester on something and you're like, I really want this console next, right? That collector in me needs this particular console. And you focus and you're doing your online research and nothing really comes up. And then something comes up and you're like, right, that's mine. I know I'm getting that. And that was what it was like really with that. So it made me chuckle because I was debating on it for about 3 months. It took me to buy that PS2, like going backwards and forwards in my head. But I did it and I'm stoked, and they're quite cheap as well. So if you're wanting to kind of spice up your PlayStation 2 console collection, pink PS2, you can get them now for like 30 quid and up, depending on what kind of bundle you want. So a little bit of fun, some amazing retro gaming consoles in here into the collection in 2019, and there will be plenty more of retro gaming consoles and retro games and retro game hunts coming in 2020, including the £5 video game challenge. So there's loads to look forward to. If you're new here and you like heartfelt, passionate gaming content, please subscribe, leave a like and share this video, and I will see you in the next one, gamers. My name is Gemma, take care, see you soon.